Morning students, this is our fifth video session for 12th computer science. In the previous session we talked about control structures. We know what is control structures. Control structures is a program statement that causes a jump of control from one part of the program to another part is called as control structure. There are three control structures: sequential, alternative or branching, iterative or looping. First one is sequential. Sequential is nothing but all the lines of code in the program will be executed one after the another in a sequence. That is called as sequential. Alternative or branching statement is nothing but if your condition is true, some segment of code will be executed. If your condition is false, another segment of code will be executed. Either this or that. That is called as alternative. There are three statements, alternative statements: simple if else, if if. Already we had a detailed explanations of all those in the previous class, and then we saw the example programs. Today we are going to talk about iteration or looping. Iteration or looping is a situation in which when the user need to execute a block of code several number of times till the condition is satisfied. Till your condition gets satisfied, the same block of code will be executed. We already know and we studied that in C++. If your condition is true, the same set of code will be executed again and again and again, and once the condition is false, it will come out of the loop. If a particular segment of code runs again and again, it is called as looping. For looping, there are two types in Python. One is while loop and the second one is for loop. We'll see one by one. First one is while loop. The syntax for the while loop is while keyword, the condition and a colon, the statement is given, else this statement is given. If your condition is true, statement block 1 will be executed. If your condition is false, else part will be executed. See, in the while loop, the condition is any valid boolean expression. We know what is boolean, right? Either true or false. The else part of while is optional part of while. While else part optional tha. It is not compulsory to specify the else part in while loop. The statements block 1 is kept executed till the condition is true. If the else part is written, it is executed when the condition is tested false. If the condition is true, the true part will be executed, and if the condition is false and else part is written, means it will be executed. Otherwise, it will come out of it. Recall, while loop belongs to an entry check loop type. We already studied earlier entry control loop. While loop and for loop both are entry control loop. That is, it is not executed even once if the condition is tested false in the beginning. If the condition is false, it will not enter into this. The example program for while loop is given. I am initializing the value 10 to the variable I, and I am checking if I is less than or equal to 15, means I have to print the value of I, and then I am incrementing the value of I by 1, and then again checking it is less than or equal to 15. So till my I value becomes 15, it will print the value of I and gets incremented by 1 at each loop. This one, end equal to /t, is given for a tab between the numbers. We'll see the example program. See this program, I am initializing my I value to 10. First it will check the I value is less than or equal to 15. If it is less than or equal to 15, it will print the value of I and it will give a tab value, and then it come out and increment the value of I by 1. Now the value of I becomes 11, and then it goes and check the loop. 11 less than or equal to 15. Yes, it is true. Then it comes and print the value 11 and then give a tab and then increment the I value by 1. It will become 12. It checks for 12 less than or equal to 15. True. So it print 12 and give a tab and then it will increment it by 13. It prints 13, tab and then 14. Check the condition, print 14, 15, and when I value becomes 16, the condition becomes false and it get out of the loop. I'm going to run this program. See, it is displaying from 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and a tab in between the numbers. See, the control variable is I, which is initialized to 10. The condition is tested that I is less than or equal to 15. If true value of I gets printed, then the control variable I gets updated by 1. So what I said is given in sentence here. See here, print can have end, sep as parameters. Print statement can have end and sep as parameters. For what end is given? End can be used when we need to give escape sequence like /t/n. So whenever we are giving an escape sequence, we need to use end in between, and whenever we are using some special characters, we have to use sep. Listen carefully. Print can have end and sep as parameters. For giving escape sequences, we need to give end, and for printing special characters, we need to give sep. So this is another example for while loop. So it has a else part. It is not compulsory that while loop should have a else part. It is optional. In my previous program, while does not have else part. This program while have an else. So same program is given. It initializes the value of I to 10 and it will check the value is less than 15 and it will increment the value of I by every step. When I value becomes 16, the condition becomes false and it comes to the else part and print that value of I when the loop exit is 16. So let us move to the program. See this program, I value is initialized to 10. I am checking the condition that I is less than or equal to 15. I am printing the value of I and the value is incremented by 1. It will be printed till I value is less than or 15. When the I value becomes 16, this condition becomes false and will come to the else part. When it comes to the else part, it print the value of I when the loop exit. See 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and value of I when the loop exit is 16 because 16 is greater than 15. So that is all about while loop. Next we are moving to for loop. For loop is the most comfortable loop. It is also an entry control check loop. The condition is checked at the beginning and the body of the loop is executed. If it is only true, otherwise the loop is not executed. Condition is checked at the initial stage. If the condition is true, the body of the loop will be executed. Otherwise, the body will not be executed. See the syntax. For counter variable will give I in C++. Likewise, that variable is called as counter variable. In sequence, statement block 1, else statement block 2. Here also else part is optional. It is not compulsory that all the for should have an else. It may have or may not have else statement. The counter variable mentioned in the syntax is similar to the control variable that we used for the for loop of C++. In C++, what we use? For I equal to some value, I less than or equal to, and then I++ we give, right? That I is called as the counter variable in Python. Usually in Python, for loop uses range function. In Python, for loop use range function in the sequence to specify the initial, final and increment value. Here in the sequence, for loop uses range function to mention the initial, final and the increment value. Very importantly, you have to note that range generates a list of values starting from start till stop minus 1. So I am starting the loop from 1, I am giving the loop till 10 means it will run up to 9 only, stop minus 1. See the syntax for range. Range, start, stop, step. The stop denotes the starting value, stop denotes the final value, and the step denotes that how much it has to increment. I plus plus, I minus minus we give, right? So plus 1 means it is I plus 1, I minus 1 means we have to give minus 1, like this here. See the example programs. Range 1 comma 30 comma 1. So this is the 1 is the starting value, 30 is the end value. Range always execute end minus 1. So it will have numbers from 1 to 29 only, and every loop it will get increment by 1. Range 2 comma 30 comma 2. The starting value is 2, the ending value is 28, and every step it will increment by the value 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, like that. Here the starting value is 30, the ending value is 3. Every step it will decrement by minus 3. 30, 27, 24, 21, and it will print up to 6. If only one value is given, means it will take this as the end value. If start value and increment value is not given, only one value is specified within the range, means it will take the single value as the end value. It will start from 0 and the end value will be considered as 19, and every step it will increment the value by 1. If nothing is specified and only one value is specified, means it will take it as the end value. Automatically the start value will be taken as 0 and the increment value will be taken as 1. See the example for loop. For I in range 2 comma 10 comma 2. So I is the counter variable. It can have values from 2 to 8 because increment value is 2. It will have one value before the end value. So 2, 4, 6, 8 will be displayed. The print I and then end statement is given for escape sequence, that is a empty space. So when I do this, first the I value will be 1 and then I value will be incremented by 2. Sorry, the I value is 2, I value will be incremented by 2, that I value becomes 4, then I value becomes 6, and then I value become 8. It will not come to 8 because the end value is, it will not come to 10 because the end value is 10. It will have one value before the end value. Let us see in the program. See, for I in range, the starting value of I is 2, the ending value of I is 10 minus 2, that is 8. Every step it has to increment the value by 2. I have to print the I value every time and have to give a space in between. And I am running this program. 2, 4, 6, 8 is printed. 10 is not printed because 10 is the end value. A space is given with every values. So already I have mentioned that for loop can have else or cannot have else. This is an example for loop having else statement. For I in range 2 comma 10 comma 2, the same one. Else part it is printing end of the loop. Whenever it ends the loop, the else part will be display it. File, open, so I didn't type that program. I think we can try this here itself. Else print end. Every time you have to save the file, you are going to run option. See, 2, 4, 6, 8 and end is printed. A note is given. In Python, indentation is important in loop and other control statements. Indentation only create blocks and subblocks, like how we create blocks within a set of parentheses in languages in C, C++. Everyone have to understand it very clearly. So in C++, for every for loop we open a parenthesis, and at the end of the for loop we close that parenthesis. But in Python, only this indentation, this spacing is given. After a for loop, the inside block should be given an indentation. So till the indentation, it will come inside the for loop. Whenever it comes to the left corner, the for loop will get closed. நல்லா கிளியராக அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. ஃபார் லூப்க்கு நாம் இங்கே parenthesis curly braces யூஸ் பண்ண போகிறதில்ல. ஒரு ஃபார் லூப்க்கு அப்புறம் ஸ்பேஸ் விட்டு எத்தனை ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்ஸ் இருக்குதோ அது எல்லாமே ஃபார் லூப்போடது தான். எப்போ லெஃப்ட் கார்னருக்கு ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் வந்துச்சோ ஃபார் லூப் க்ளோஸ் ஆகிடுச்சின்னு அர்த்தம். இது நல்லா கிளியராக அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் ஆகலைன்னா நீங்கள் நீ திரும்ப கேட்கலாம். Here is another example program to calculate the sum of numbers from 1 to 100. I am giving the n value to 100 and the sum equal to 0 for counter in range. Counter is a variable that consists of values from 1 to 101. Why I am giving n plus 1 here? I want to print the number till 100. I am giving the n value till 100. If I am giving n here, means it will take up to only 99. But I want to take up to 100, means I am giving n plus 1. Sum equal to sum plus counter. First, initially the sum value will be 0 and the counter value will be 1. 0 plus 1, 1. 1 will be stored in the variable sum. Then it will be incremented by 1. Then 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 is stored in the sum. And then 1 value is incremented. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 is stored in sum. Likewise, it will store up to 100. Add the values. And I am printing the sum value. See here, print sum of 1 until percentage D is given. If this percentage D represents the number in the variable n and variable sum. I will show you in the program. See this program, n value is 100, sum equal to 0. For I in range, it will take the value from 1 to 101. I value takes from 1 to 101. Sum equal to sum plus I. The first I will take the value 1. Sum is 0. 0 plus 1, 1. So it will print, it will add and store it in sum. Now sum has the value 1. It will increment by 1 and then 1 plus 2, likewise till 100 it add the number. We can directly give it as sum of 1 till 100 is sum. See, I am giving like this. Yeah, I am printing the sum of 1 till 100. The value will be stored in sum, so I am displaying in this. But every time you need to save the program. Addition of numbers from 1 to 100 is 5050. Likewise, we can give the another method that is given in the book is here for numbers they are noted percentage %d and one more percentage %d is given. Where will it takes the value for percentage %d and percentage %d? That is, I am displaying here percentage %d. First value is n value and the second value is some value. I am closing this. One till 100 is 5050. So likewise we can give. See, range can also takes value from string, list, dictionary, which will be dealt in next chapters. While going to that chapters, we will see that, and it can take string as an argument. Till now we used integers. See here, for word is a variable, computer is a string stored in the variable word. So it will take each characters that is stored in the word. Print this variable, I am giving a space between each letter, else end of the loop. Listen, so the word computer, COMPUTER are stored in the variable word. For each character I am printing the character and giving a space, and then printing a character and then giving a space, and then printing a character giving a space. So this is the example of using string in range of for loop. See, the word computer, COMPUTER is stored in the variable word. For each letter in the word, it will give a space in between. See here, suppose I am giving a star here, means see, so this is the example that the variable can store string also. Next one is nested loop structure. Nested is, we know, a if within a if. Likewise, a loop can placed with another loop is called as nested loop. One can place a while within another while, for within another for within while, and while within for to construct such nested loops. So to display these outputs, we can use for within the while loop. Within the while loop, we use a for statement. See the program. I am initializing the value of I, and I am checking whether the value of I is less than or equal to 6. And then I am giving a for loop. The j is between 1, I, print j. J takes the value 1, 1 because the value of I is initialized to 1. Now the value of j is from 1 to 1. So it will print 1 and then /t, it will give a tab, and then it will come to the next statement. I am giving /n, so it will come out of the loop, and then it increments the I value becomes 2. Increment the I value by 1, so I value becomes 2. Now the I value is 2. Next it will go to the for loop. The range becomes 1 comma 2. So first one j it will print 1, and for the second value it will a tab, and then it will become print 2, and then print next line, and then it will print the I value to 3. It's come here 1 comma 3 will be there, so it will print 1 tab 2 tab 3, and it will print a slash n next line, and then I value will be increment 4. Likewise I value will be increment till 5, because it will check I is less than or equal to 6. So the indentation is very important here. So this statement belongs to the for loop, this statement belongs to the while loop. So this is indentation. Go through the program very clearly, it is very simple. For within while. So you take a paper and pencil and execute this, you know what will come. See this, it will come like this. So this is nested. If can be placed within if, for can be placed, while can be placed within while, for can be placed within for within while, and while within for, anything you can do. So that's it for today's class. See the book back questions. So this 2 mark is covered. Write a note on range in loop. So the answer is in page number 77. For loop uses the range function, and till syntax of the range you have to write. This program I will explain, and then write the syntax of while loop, you know, you have to mark in the book, and write a detailed note on for loop also, you have to mark in the book. And to find the answers, guide is also given to you through PDF. So these 2 programs, all these 3 is very easy. Let's go to the first program. Write a program to display this. So in the example program we displayed 1 2 3, like 1 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5, like that. But now we have to display as a character. What we have to do? See this program. So we know the ASCII value of capital A is 65, and till E it has to come to 70. For the value from 65 to 70, this is the important thing. If we didn't mention, it means it will display the number from 65 to 70. We are converting the number to a character. The equivalent character for 65 is A, 66 is B. So that number will be converted as character and printed here. See A, AB, ABC, ABCDE, like this. So look at this program for I in range 65 to 70, because the ASCII value of A is 65. So the 65 will be converted as character until 69 it will be displayed. And the next program is write a program to display all 3-digit odd numbers. It is a very simple program. 3-digit odd numbers. So 3-digit means it starts from 100 and goes till 999. We have to give one additional value because it will take one value less than the end value. So I am giving from 100 to 1000. If the variable divided by 2, that is not equal to 0. If it becomes 0, that will be an even number. If it is not equal to 0, we have to print the value of I. So it will display all the numbers, odd numbers from 100 to 999. 3-digit odd numbers will be displayed here. So for I in range 100 to 1000, if the number is divided by 2 and the remainder is 0 na, that should not be displayed. Not equal to 0 na, that should be displayed, that is an odd number. And one more program, we have to write the multiplication table. That is also very simple. See, I am getting which table to be printed from the user. So usually we write the tables from 1 to 12, right? So I need to get 12 means I have to give 13. So 1 to 13, the value printing, and I am giving like this. See, n into symbol I value equal to n into I. If I run this, it is asking for a number. Suppose I want to print 8 table means, see, till 1 to 18 it will be displayed. So listen the video carefully. If you didn't understand, take a look on the video 2 or 3 times. Appayum purilina, call and ask me. Thank you.